Let's be honest. Nobody likes to fail. You prepare, you plan, you give it your best shot. And then, boom, life throws a banana peel right under your feet, and suddenly, you're flat on your face. It sucks. And the worst part? That little voice in your head whispering, "See? I told you this would happen." But here's the thing. Failure isn't the problem. It's our fear of failure that keeps us stuck. And guess what? The Bhagavad Gita has been telling us this for over 5,000 years. Krishna didn't just drop some poetic verses for decoration. He was literally giving Arjuna a guide on how to be unstoppable. So today, let's unravel this fear of failure and see why the Gita tells us that messing up is not the problem. It's actually part of the plan. Why we fear failure. Picture this. You've just signed up for a marathon. You're excited, motivated, feeling like an Olympic athlete. But then, your brain starts playing its greatest hits. What if I come last? What if I collapse on the track? What if my shoelace comes undone? I trip, go viral on the internet, and become a meme? Suddenly, you're not worried about the race itself. You're worried about what happens if you fail. And this is exactly why so many of us never even try. We don't actually fear failure. We fear the embarrassment, the disappointment, the judgment that comes with it. But let's go back to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna, one of the greatest warriors of his time, is having a full-blown meltdown. He's standing there, bow in hand, but instead of fighting, he's doubting himself. What if I fail? What if this leads to disaster? And Krishna? He doesn't say, "Oh no, you poor thing, let's just go home and rethink everything." Nope. He straight up tells Arjuna, "You have control over your actions, but never over the results. So why fear failure? Get up and fight. Your job is to show up and do your best. Whether you win or lose. Not your problem." The myth of winning and losing. Here's where we get it wrong. We think success means winning and failure means losing. But the Gita says, nope. That's just your ego talking. Let's say you're learning to cook. The first time, you burn the rice. The second time, the salt is too much. The third time, it actually turns out decent. Now, were your first 2 attempts failures? Or were they just steps toward getting it right? We label failure as this big, bad monster, but in reality, it's just part of the process. The problem is, we expect perfection from day one. We want to start a business and have it succeed immediately. We want to try something new and be good at it instantly. But where's the logic in that? Krishna tells Arjuna to act without attachment to results, because the moment you get attached, you bring in fear. And fear makes you hesitate, and hesitation leads to inaction. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from trying something because you were afraid you'd fail? What if you hadn't? Where would you be now? Failure is just data. Let's flip the script. Imagine failure isn't something to fear. It's just data. That's right. Failure is just life handing you feedback. Lost money in an investment? Lesson on financial wisdom. Got rejected from a job? Lesson on resilience. Embarrassed yourself while public speaking? Lesson on preparation. Instead of taking failure personally, what if you just saw it as a stepping stone? Because honestly, that's all it is. Think about babies. When they learn to walk, they fall a lot. But do they just sit there like, well, that's it, I guess I'll just crawl for the rest of my life? Nope. They get back up. Over and over again. And guess what? We were those babies. So what happened? Somewhere along the way, we started believing the lie that failure means stop trying. When in reality, Failure is just proof that you're in the game. The secret weapon. Action without fear. So what does the Gita tell us to do? Simple. Take action, but let go of the obsession with results. Let's say you're a writer. If you spend all your time worrying whether your book will be a bestseller, you'll never even start writing. But if you just focus on writing the best book you can, you're already succeeding, because you're doing the work. Krishna tells Arjuna to focus only on his duty, not on whether he wins or loses. Why? Because the moment you detach from results, you become unstoppable. When you're not afraid of failure, you take risks. You try new things. You step outside your comfort zone. And that's where real growth happens. So, the next time you catch yourself hesitating because you're afraid to fail, remember this. You have two choices. Stay stuck, overthinking every possible outcome, or take action, knowing that failure isn't the enemy. It's just part of the journey. The Gita doesn't promise you success. It doesn't guarantee that everything will go perfectly. But what it does promise is this. If you act without fear, without attachment, and without hesitation, you become unstoppable. So go. Try. Fall. Learn. Rise again. Because failure is just proof that you're moving forward. And that is what truly matters. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next life nuggets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.